Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran. Welcome. I like to help people using a spiritual perspective, and I also like to use humor and to give soulful looks at the camera with intermittent pauses that seem like I'm coming from a place of intelligence, but really I'm just drawing words out. Okay guys, how you doing? My name is, like I said, Kieran. I hope that I can help you guys with this video today. I wanted to talk about manifestation really quick. Shouldn't be a very long video, so I hope you guys stick around, check it out. What I wanted to mention is some proper ways to manifest, okay? Now, this could be anything. It could be a relationship. It could be a certain monetary value. It could be a job. It could be something that you're wanting. It could be an idea. It could be some clarity. It could be that sex toy that you've always wanted, but you don't really feel like ordering because it'll show up on your credit card, and if there's any problems, then you're going to have to call them, and then they're going to be like, oh, well, can you prove the last 3 purchases? And then one of them comes up as a fleshlight, and then you're like, oh my god. Definitely nothing I've ever considered. Anyway, what manifestation is, essentially, is the ability to get something that you want. Okay? But what I have noticed about manifestation and using the law of attraction is that a lot of teachers, a lot of people, seem to believe in the idea of fantasy. Okay, now what I mean by fantasy is this. Let's take an example, okay? Let's take something like a yacht. Okay? Seems like something you might want to manifest at some point in your life. Have a nice yacht, right? I mean, who gives a shit all the work that goes into owning a yacht, because it's a lot, but just having a yacht, right? Be on a boat, enjoy the ocean, seems like a fun thing to do. You can have shrimp, you can fish, you can have sex. I've never had sex on a boat. Seems like a lot of fun, but you can do those things, and so you might want a yacht. Well, what happens with a lot of people is that what they do is they end up kind of creating this fantasy, this dreamlike world inside their head, where they're constantly thinking about themselves having a yacht, seeing themselves on a yacht, doing all the things I've mentioned on a yacht, cooking, eating, having sex, doing drugs, whatever it is you want to do on your yacht. Your manifestation, it's yours. I'm not here to judge, but it's your manifestation. Well, when you want that yacht, when you're fantasizing about it, what that's actually doing is it's really just you masturbating to your own imagination, okay? That's not really manifestation, and yet so many people teach it like that, or so many people are behaving as if that's how you get what you want, by just masturbating, essentially, to your own ideas, to your own imagination, to your own wildest fantasies, okay? That's not manifestation, okay? That is self-pleasure. It's essentially just masturbation, okay? And the weird thing about that is what it does, okay? What it does, and it's not just that, like, the self-pleasure of it all is really the problem, but what it does is a symptom. The problem is the symptoms of that way of thinking, because what will happen is that the idea isn't to just kind of want this yacht, right? What happens is you sort of want to be in a place where you want to act like you don't need the yacht at all. The goal isn't to constantly be thinking about wanting a yacht. That's not how you bring yourself peace or happiness or your desired manifestation any quicker, at least not towards to a degree in which you feel fulfilled. Because normally, I mean, I think that's what we all like to think, our manifestation is going to help us feel more fulfilled. I mean, that's our idea, even if it isn't true necessarily, but we want to think that way. So we have this belief that the yacht is going to in some way make us happy, right? So we think about it and think about ourselves being on that yacht, but that creates the illusion of separation. So it furthers the illusion of not having a yacht, because you're constantly thinking about yourself being on a yacht. You don't need to do that. And I'm certainly not here to tell you don't do any of that stuff. Dreaming about your life or having a vision is actually very important, and it's better to have one than to not. But certainly wasting your time away by spending all of your time just, thinking about all this stuff isn't going to get it there any quicker, and it does create a reality in which you're separate from that thing, because you're basically saying to yourself, I need a yacht, I want a yacht. That's not bringing you inner peace, that's not bringing you fulfillment, and it's the opposite of what you're trying to get, because if you already had a yacht, you wouldn't be constantly fantasizing about having one. You wouldn't be picturing yourself on your yacht. You would already have it. You'd be on to your next manifestation thinking that was going to make you happy, and so on. You'd be fantasizing about a friggin' jet plane or whatever, right? A mansion or house by the beach, whatever. Always something to fantasize about. Manifestation is taught in this way often because we have this perception that we need to constantly be holding on to something in order for it to come into our life. Because if we were to let go of it, then it would suddenly disappear from our ability to manifest. We wouldn't be able to make it appear anymore. It would be so far out of our reach. And so we're taught to not let go of things. We will constantly have to hold on. And this way of manifestation creates something that acts out of the present moment. It creates a feeling of lack. It puts your desired manifestation on a pedestal, and it puts your feelings of worth and happiness and peace into something external. Something that can't ever love you back. Despite how nice it might be to own a yacht, it's not my manifestation. I don't really want to own a yacht, but certainly if somebody gave me a boat, I think that'd be pretty cool. But not my manifestation, right? But it seems like it'd be kind of cool to have a boat. So nothing wrong with the desire itself, but that thing can't make you happy, right? That thing can't give you what it is you're thinking it can give you. And that's kind of what manifestation has been taught, like, is this idea that by thinking the most about something, by completely putting yourself in a fantasy world every day, you're going to get your thing any quicker. But it often isn't the case, at least how I've experienced it. And everybody's different, so I'm not trying to push anything really down your throat at all. But what I've noticed in my life is the more I think about something and the more I fantasize about something happening, which is essentially the more energy I give to something, the more I care about something, well, the greater chance it now has to hurt me, right? So if I care about having a yacht and I think about having a yacht all the time, well, what happens when I don't have a yacht after a year? But I've put all of this energy into having it. So what happens if I don't have it after 2 years? And so we want to say that, well, in 5 years, I got myself a yacht and I was thinking about it every day for 5 years. That's not proof that my manifestation worked. Not necessarily. It's proof that I went out and bought a yacht. Okay? So the idea is that you don't have to waste all your time thinking about something to get something to come into your life, because often it actually takes longer to get that. And I've experienced that in almost every single way. Okay? I've experienced that with money, with love. Okay? I've experienced it with friendships, anything, right? Those three are huge, though. And any time that I thought more about getting that, to meet new people, to have this, the more it never worked out. The more I fantasized and daydreamed about such scenarios, the less I ever felt like I had. Okay? And the whole goal of this whole manifestation process is to let go, number one, but also more importantly, to feel like you don't need anything. Right? The goal isn't to constantly want a yacht or to want money. It's to feel like you don't need any. To be in a place where none of that is something that you're really attached to. But people don't want to behave like that, myself included. I'm not perfect. People don't want to behave like that because, again, it implies that by letting go of that desired manifestation, it won't come true. So we have to keep it alive in our head. But the idea is to act as if you already have it. And if you already have something, you don't need to think about it, right? I have this pen. So I'm not thinking about, well, I need a pen, right? I mean, if I wanted to write something down and show you guys, I would be thinking to myself, oh shit, I need a pen. You know, can I manifest a pen? Where's a pen? Where's a pen? And I'd be looking around for this pen, right? Okay, I didn't have the pen, so I need the pen. Okay, great. But the idea is I have the pen, so I'm not thinking about needing a pen. Who cares, right? Not me, because I have what I need. So by acting as if you already have what you need, you can attract more of what you want in your life. And that's all you really need to do. All you really need to do to get what you want in your manifestation is to stop giving a shit. Promise you. Absolutely promise you. And I'll give you a real world example from my own life. And this is not something that is supposed to be awesome for you to hear. I'm not trying to brag or anything, okay? But this is an example. So I have, for the majority of my life, cared very deeply about money. Right? I think a lot of people do. But I've cared very deeply. I was especially somebody who wanted to think that material possessions would define me, okay? Very masculine thing, and I take no shame. It is essentially um, proof of the conditioning of which I was, which I grew up with, okay? Which I think many people do. They grow up with that, right? So not a big deal, but it's normal, but it is what it is, right? So I grew up with that attitude, and I consistently wanted more. Okay, but what happened is because I never appreciated what I had, I would lose it very quickly, and I would then also never get what I had because I was creating the illusion of separation, that the money was over there and that I needed to think about getting it, think about wanting it, but it didn't get me here any quicker, and it didn't make this come to me any quicker. In fact, if anything, this kept moving and I kept moving, and this kept moving and I kept moving, until eventually it's so far out of your way that you just lose all control of everything. You become disillusioned, right? Well, eventually what happened is I was so broke at some point, hit rock bottom so many times, and this happened to me recently in February, really is when it started, but March too, but really just I felt like I hit rock bottom in February, and I just didn't know what to do, and I just had really no energy or anything, really no belief, and didn't really have that much money to go on, and nobody was buying like tarot readings or anything, and nobody was my services, and I wasn't even really in a position to do them, so no problem there. But the idea was nothing was working, right? And all that being said, what happened is I just stopped giving a shit because it wasn't that I needed money. Okay, now obviously practically we need money. We want to be able to afford our own place. We want to be able to eat, maybe take care of people we love, go out, have fun, whatever, right? We need it for a practical sense to live in this society, to be grounded, okay? So I'm not trying to give you the belief that money's evil or anything like that, but rather that it wasn't that I needed more money. I didn't need $10,000. I didn't need $20,000. I needed the belief that I could manifest things on my own, that I could believe in myself, that I could make something happen, that something could be given to me that I could receive. Okay? That's what I needed. And what happened was that I stopped giving a shit. In those moments of pain and depression and anxiety and sort of rock bottom, I just stopped caring. And do you know what happened, guys? Money from all sorts of places just started to hit me randomly. And not even from tarot readings, just random shit. Uh, like things that I applied for a long time ago just suddenly started coming in. There was an error with unemployment that I applied to like a long time ago, and don't tell them. But they just ended up giving me like way more than they should have, and I was like, I'm gonna take that. I'm not telling anybody, and they just like huge amounts of money that I never asked for or applied for, and they just keep sending it. They still keep sending it, and I'm just saving it up because it's not 20 grand at a time, right? But it's like these huge chunks of money that I'm just saving up because it's like, well, what I don't need to spend it right now, but there'll come a time when I do. And like there'll be just random other things like that, random stuff, uh, back taxes or random money that's owed to me, or it's just I had like 5 or 6 different things over the past month alone that have just been random, and it's all added up to like 3 or 4 grand so far, and there's still more coming. So my point is like, yeah, it's not enough to afford my own place, and it's not enough, and it isn't a job. Okay, so I'm not trying to say that this is a good way of doing things. I'm just saying that there's unexpected. You're allowed to receive things. Is my point. Okay, so this is not about taking advantage or even not being able to work or anything like that. And it certainly doesn't mean that how I spend money is going to change, because I still have conditioning inside of me. So it's up to me to go through those changes that I meant to, right? Because having a bunch of money coming towards you is great, but if you spend it on stupid shit all the time, well, it doesn't really matter, right? So your ability to manifest has nothing to do with your ability to keep your manifestation. Those are two very different things, okay? And that's the whole point, right? If you're manifesting basically on the premise that you just want something without needing to change anything about yourself, then your manifestation doesn't matter and it's not going to make you happy, right? So oftentimes, again, it's not that you need more money. Yeah, like practically you need $1,000 to maybe pay a bill or this or that or buy a car because you don't have one, etc., etc. But you don't really need that shit. Because the idea is you need to believe you can get it. Because if you believe that you can get it, then you're already going to be acting like you have it. And if you're already acting like you have it, it's going to come towards you. And all of that is based upon a first step, which is sort of a lack of step. Stop caring. Stop giving a shit. Let go. Who gives a crap? And I mean like who gives a fuck? Like really with the intent of that word. Like I use that curse on purpose because saying fuck is to essentially let go of judgment, inhibition, and anything that you feel like you need to sort of keep yourself on some sort of pedestal, right? Well, we're not supposed to curse, I'm spiritual, whatever, right? But who gives a fuck? That's the attitude. That's the attitude you need in your life for most things. Okay? Now, it's a different story about apathy and nihilism, and not what I'm trying to say. Letting go of your attachments. The root attachment is the root of all suffering, right? The old Buddhist saying, right? And it is very true, but people don't really like to hear that because they think that they have to let go of the things that they want. The goal isn't to let go of your desires; it's to feel okay if your desires don't come true. That's the idea, guys. So wanting a yacht is fine, but you don't need a yacht, and you don't need to spend your day thinking about it. Because ultimately what's going to happen is if you already act like, you know what, I have a yacht, this is what it would be like to have a yacht, I'm just going to live my life as if as if I had a yacht. What would you do? Would you wait around for a yacht? No, you'd live your life, okay? So the idea is that stop putting so much emphasis on your manifestations. You'll actually get things a lot quicker. I've seen it in my life in different scenarios. The more I try to control things, the more I try and think about my manifestation, the more I daydream about my manifestation, the more anxious I feel, the less in the present I exist, and the more separation I create from that desired manifestation. And it seems to take a lot longer. And time is only our perception. So if it seems to be a lot longer, it doesn't matter if it is or isn't. It seems that way to me. So I don't want to be in that energy. And I want to impart this wisdom, which I hope is wisdom, to you guys so that you may use the same thing. But I promise you from my own experience, and that I hope that you resonate with it, if you stop caring about things to such a degree, stop putting in all of that energy towards them, you'll get what you want quicker, and you'll be happier to do it. Okay? So I hope this reading, I'm so used to doing tarot reading. I hope this video helps. Please let me know if it does. If it doesn't make sense, everybody has their own individual truth. Don't take my word as gospel. I'm only one person in a blue sweater, so don't think that I know everything. Just hope that this does help you guys, okay? Okay, guys, I hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy it. Don't die. If you die, let me know in the comments, which might be hard to do, but try your best, and we'll talk soon. Okay, guys, have a good day. Bye.